My name's Campbell Black. I'm founder of Black Line Marine back in 1980 and one of the founding partners in Quadrant Marine Institute and also a partner in Current Design's kayaks. Well, I think my first memory, a real memory as a human being, was 1952 when we got on the ocean liner Ascania to come to Canada. And before that, my life was quite subdued. I have vague memories of things, but when I got on that ocean liner, the world turned to Technicolor, and I never forgot that. It was always such a big part in my personal history. And from there on, I found every way to get into a rowing boat or a canoe or anything that took me on the water because the water was freedom. If I was to describe the milestones for Black Line Marine, I think there's so many of them that they would be too long to list here. But let me say what was significant for me. And I think the second year when my first customer came back was quite astounding to me. And I didn't realize, well, this is something that can probably grow and grow and grow. And of course it did grow and grow and grow. And then very soon I got into hiring employees. And I found that I was enjoying that process of hiring and engaging with those people as much as I was enjoying doing the work on the vessels. So that was a milestone. That was telling me something about how my business was going to evolve. The solution to challenges is based on the relationships that you develop over the years. And when you can go to your staff and say, I need help, and they respond positively, that's a very, very powerful thing. When you can go to your associates in business and say, I need $20,000 before the end of the month, and someone turns around and then hands it to you, that's pretty powerful stuff. And that happened to me in my early career many times because it wasn't easy to get this thing off the ground. And both this company and Current Designs had many, many challenges. And I would say it was the depth of the relationships with staff and other industry people that made the difference to me. I've always had a love for training and growth in people, and basically because I understood the challenges for myself. Looking at this industry, you see so much talent. You see people with abilities that are not common out there. And I had a great admiration for that. So I always wanted to see people develop more of those skills and recognize that it wasn't me that had all the answers. So training became a big part of what I wanted to accomplish. And seeing other people grow and develop an understanding was very rewarding. And so that's been part of my nature. By focusing very narrowly on developing and delivering training, we managed to pull together the Vancouver Island Marine Repair Association, and that became the basis of Quadrant Marine Institute. I think Quadrant has professionalized the industry in a number of ways, and that's by our approach to training. When I entered the industry all these years ago, everybody felt that training was somebody else's job. That's where you sent a person to a college, to BCIT or to Cabosun or one of the colleges, and they would do the training that you need. But we soon realized the scope of this trade, the service industry, was so massive that it was impossible for any trainer, unless there is a very specific program, to train for this industry. So we realized early on we had to do it ourselves. And we did it in a unique way by taking the key people who are recognized in the industry for being competent in the various areas to be our instructors. They worked for a living all day long, but in the evenings they would come and they would do programming with us. So what's the benefit of that? Well, each of the students had a connection with currency. People who were doing it today, now, and were living it every moment. And what was a real benefit. I think I'm most proud of changing the circumstances for people who work in the industry, for providing a career path, recognition through apprenticeship training. That means a lot to me, and I think it's a value to everyone who is associated with it. I would say the other side of things that's been very positive as a result is this industry has been brought together by this whole experience of Quadrant in a way that it never was before. If I were giving advice to other people who are entering the industry or are in the industry, I would say for those in the leadership, know yourself, because you don't have all the answers. You have some of them, and you need that team around you. It's the strength that comes from the organization, which is way more powerful than the sum of its parts. I would suggest that a good look at the values of the company is very important. People like to think these are airy-fairy things, but it is the core of success. Establish what those values are and live by them. And you can do it as policy if you want, or you can do it as just a shared understanding with your staff. But look at your core values, because that's what drives any company. You know, and when I think about what the various organizations that I've been associated with have to offer, I have to look back at the staff that's in place. Without their enthusiasm, without their energy, none of this would happen, because things don't happen because they're a good idea. Things happen because people care. And there's lots of good ideas out there, but they often don't get off the ground. But when you have people that care, you can go in different directions and you'll have a positive result. So there's no one way to do all of this. But if you've got a team that's as solid as they are at Blackline and Quadrant, then you're going to accomplish great things. I was quite touched with the nomination and the award, and I just want to make sure everybody out there who participated in that process, I thank you my humble thanks. I don't necessarily, I'm not necessarily a front and center kind of person in the industry, and I was more comfortable in the background, but I certainly have ideas, and I'm pleased that the people around me have listened to those, and in the end have tolerated me, and and that is kind of what it is. I've done my best, and I appreciate being part of the community and being recognized as offering something of value.